haven't met me in person yet, a LinkedIn bandit for sure. But I'm Cajovi Daniel on socials, Cajovi St. Matthew Daniel in a real life, like everybody knows it is. Thank you guys so much firstly for coming. If you don't know what Respect the Game is, essentially I went on a rant on LinkedIn about a situation I had with a talent, and essentially was just trying to like garden like some sort of community to understand if it was an issue with just influencer marketing or if it was an issue amongst the whole industry in regards to working with talent.
I don't have time for BS. So when I feel like you're coming to me because you feel like you're big man bollocks, I'm cutting you from the campaign. I don't have time to pussyfoot around, and I explain to the client or the brand the reason why it's not going to go ahead with this person, and this is our recommendations, and I will actually share the screenshots if I absolutely have to. The disrespect for me has usually come from people who feel like, oh, so what, Hugo Boss is hollering at me, so now I'm a big brand. All right, cool, then I feel like I can talk to you a certain way because a particular brand has now checked you out.
People that had that same ego block, right? And isn't it just part of the course? I know a ton of people that have been successful putting up with these types because these are just steps on the ladder of where you want to get to. So I think to some degree, if your objective or your North Star's clear, then dealing with these types becomes a little bit more manageable than if...
It was mentioned about PR, and I think having been on both sides of like working with talent and being talent, what I then realise is a lot of people, let's face it, especially in the space we're in at the moment, are in one space and then navigating into this new space where they're becoming talent. And it's like they have a lack of understanding of what goes into making them who they are, who the people are working with. They think the PR is just someone that's sending the email. Whereas if you don't know what's gone in to get that expertise and get those connections, you'd think twice in how you speak to this person. Because essentially this person can make or break you, if we're being real. And I think the over familiarity comes from not understanding who you're working with.
It's kind of like, I've worked with like big advertising agencies and PR agencies, and if a talent has come to set, they've been rude, they've been late, they've been high, which has happened. Emails have been sent around, like never ever work with this person again. And I think that they need to know that when you go somewhere, you can tell the difference when you work with someone that says hello to absolutely everyone in the room, even if it's like they don't even know who the person is. I've noticed that those people go on and get way more jobs than the people that come in with ego or entourage, don't want to talk to anyone, and it's because people talk and you just won't work with them anymore. Right. So I think you just kind of need to make sure that everyone that you've got on your roster knows that they have to conduct themselves in a certain way.
So we put code of conduct in place, where it was like, these are the hours you can contact us, because you have to protect your own boundaries as well as a talent manager. And so like our talent would be like calling us at 12 midnight because they're breaking up with their boyfriend. Like that's not what we're doing right now, right? So it's just putting boundaries in place, but also this is how you talk to us, this is how you treat us as your talent management, this is what we're doing for you, and this is a mutual respect kind of thing. So we did actually put that in place and send it out to all of our talents, so now they know, okay, like this is how...
Did you see like a difference?
Oh, 100%. And also the people who had a problem with it, when they acted up, people were like, we're not working with you anymore. So, and now the roster is a lot, everyone kind of fits in, you all get along really well, you know, it works. But I do think you need to put those boundaries in place.
I think it's amazing that you guys have actually done that, because there's a lot of smaller influencer agencies that are coming out, especially independent ones where it's like a 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, and they're kind of like, what I've realized is that when I'm signing certain contracts and they're kind of hitting back on the contract about code of conduct or breaching the contract, then I take that out. And I'm like, why would I take it out? That if you've done something outside that could like basically make it seem like our brand is, you know, whatever. Why are you saying like, should I take it out? It's because they know what their clients are like and they're adapting themselves to their client. Do you get what I mean? So if I want to say that content has to be in between this time and I'm saying I'm flexible, you can just let me know if I want to push it. But you're saying no, but that makes me, it shows me that your client is unreliable. So I commend you guys for actually having that code of conduct, because you're saying like, no, this is the type of people that we want to work with, and we want to help make sure that they're reflecting us when we're working with other brands.
Hi, we're here at Respect the Game with Cajovi Daniels. I'm your host, Gift of Gabs, and this is the confessionals area. We'll be delving deeper, being more intimate and understanding how everyone feels at the table, getting the back roll of the discussions and just the personal moments, the horror stories, the expressions, the things that you can't actually see at the table, but we've got real tea for you, so stay tuned. How did you find tonight?
Tonight was absolutely amazing, and I was saying to many of the people that I networked today, like, I'm so used to being like so much of a wallflower, And today was one of those goals that I had to kind of just come out of my shell, meet new people, and just put myself out there. And I felt very comfortable. Cajovi obviously made an environment that everybody was like listened to, everybody could speak, and we didn't feel at any point in time that, you know, I was awkward or had to be a wallflower. I think I spoke like one of the most people that actually spoke. So it was amazing.
I love the insight as well.
Thank
love
you.
that. Do you, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how valuable would you say tonight was, with 10 being super valuable, took so much home?
10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10 because I've been in the industry for about 4 or 5 years, almost 6, I think, if depending on how you look at it. And I've never ever been in a room where talent managers, even people from other industries that are not directly, you know, involved with talent managers or even the brand side of things, have come together on a table and openly spoken about things like this. Like even just in the work like in the work environment, it's like almost like a taboo to even speak about things like salary. So to come to the table and give the insight that we've been able to give, Celestina came with the PR stuff, John Paul came with like, you know, working with like apps and data and things like that. So it's like so amazing to see everybody come together like that.
Yeah, it's been super vulnerable, super open.
Yeah.
If you're on the talent side, whatever, what's the first piece of advice you give them?
Okay.
Find your wife.
Oh, of course it's find your wife.
No, find find like your wife, because obviously people have different motives for different things.
Yeah.
But the people that are doing really well, they've been able to establish why they are managing talent and why it's different for them.
Right.
And ultimately, those people are flying because it's a niche authentic sense. If you're just coming in because you want to manage, you want to go to events, you're not going to last. Like, find what's important to you and run with it. That might be important to you, but make sure you're the best at turning up at events. Do you get where I'm coming from? So yeah, find your why as to why you're doing it.
How are you? How would you be nice? Like, you don't know where you're going to meet those people again. Whereas other people that aren't managed might not necessarily have that same like rearing in the industry. So what do we do?
Talents I've had most issues with from a PR perspective are the ones with management. I'm gonna be so honest, you talent managements drive me up the I mean climbing walls literally. The ones, and I'm thinking about the recent campaign, and you know the one I'm talking about. The talents that I dealt with recently who did not have an agent or a talent manager made my job so seamless, I could kiss them through the phone. And the reason why is because I think that middleman kind of stops me being able to build a relationship with the talent directly. Talent managers, you guys are there to protect talent, and I totally understand that, and it makes sense. You guys are also there to make sure that they make the most money and all that wonderful stuff. But sometimes you guys are so hell-bent on dotting all the I's and crossing the T's that you guys actually forget the important thing, which is building a relationship with us.
Because there's such a low bar to entry to get into this industry, there's no qualifications in what you need to do. You can just turn around and be like, I'm a manager today. And if you're the smartest one in your friendship group, you can just be everyone's manager or whatever it may be, right? Talk about it. So there's no barriers to entry, and so you can get lots of people who haven't got business acumen, don't know how to have relationships and build relationships, how to be professional, being talent managers. But I would say for the most part, I don't think that's reflective of the industry. Like I do think very quickly they fall to the wayside because they actually can't keep up. Because as influencer marketing has become a more like an actual real marketing channel over the last like 5-6 years, you either keep up or you get left behind. And so you see them coming in, you see these small agencies setting up, or you see these one-man band managers coming in. But you know, after a year, they're gone again because they actually couldn't keep up. Their talent realised, well, actually, this person's not working in my best interest. So I think there is something to be said for like, maybe don't rule out all talent managers, but look at their track record. Maybe even ask people like, you know, what's his agency like? You know, can you vouch for them and give them a try? Because I think there's so many good talent that are signed to agents that you probably be missing out on because you've got that. Obviously, some bad stuff has happened. I get that. Like I understand where you're coming from. But there's so many great talent who are managed.
You spoke up really well for talent managers. I will, and it is making me rethink, so I appreciate that.
It goes back to the point I said earlier about there's certain stables that you can know and trust because of the way they move.
Yeah.
And you know that all of the talent that talent agency wouldn't have signed an individual unless they fell in line with the ethos and everything they do. Some of the issues I've had with like talent management from a brand side before is sometimes you get moments where there's misalignment between the talent and talent management.
Yeah.
I've had times where the talent's backdooring and being like, I'm not really talking to my manager at the moment, this and that. Or you have what I call the Paul Heyman effect where the talents come in, my client, and now because they've done that, the talent comes and which no, you can't have chest day. I'm doing you a favor with this brand opportunity. You can't come and no. So I think that's where it comes from. But I think partnerships is a really important thing. We've done many campaigns now together. It's because I know how he works. I know what him and his brother stand for, and I know that okay, if I'm doing something, not only it's going to be good quality, but it's good people I'm working with. And I think it's about, depending on what field you're in, finding those collectives. And it just means that no matter what you're working on, you know, there's 10 different people within that collective that can work on something. You get economies of scale because it's like, you know, I'll take 3 of your talent and we can sort out sort of package. So I think a lot of it comes from knowing what you can tolerate as well. Because let's face it, there are some talents within, especially in the sports space, that unfortunately, because of who they are and whatnot, they're going to get booked with stuff and you have to deal with who they are. I'm not happy about it, but it's how the game goes. But for the most part, you're able to sort of navigate around that by just working with good people. It's just about finding your tribe of people first and foremost.
We're here at Respect the Game with Cajovi. I'm your host, Gift of Gabs, and I'm here with...
Mayo Quadri.
Mayo Car.
Mayo Quadri.
Oh, he gave me the full name, and guys, I'm not trying to be that girl, but we're gonna have to slow it down.
I just say Mayo.
Right.
Yeah, Mayo.
Mayowa.
Yeah,
no, I'm not that girl. I can finish it.
Mayowa Quadri.
Mayowa Quadri.
Yeah.
It's sounding like a name that owns a building. Yeah. How are you finding today?
Today has been really inspirational. It's always nice being in rooms with like-minded people that can pour into each other. So yeah, when you walk into a room and you walk out feeling like energized rather than drained, that's always a good sign. So it's been a really good event.
I mean, did you have any expectations before you came today, and do you feel like they were met?
So I mean, I know Cajovi really well, so I know that if she's doing something, it's going to be like no corners left unturned. So like the people were amazing, the food was amazing, the vibe was just really well curated. I think everyone felt safe to share their insights. And I think everyone left with gems as well.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, it's nice to go somewhere where you just leave feeling poured into and just ready to just take over the world. So yeah,
A lot from you too. You had a lot to share, and I really love that.
Yeah, I think I've been very fortunate that within my own journey, I've learned a lot from other people that were willing to share. So I always feel like even if it feels like something that feels small, it might be big to someone else. So just give what you have really, because ultimately no man's an island. The more we share with each other, the more we can have equity in these spaces.
And you mentioned at the table as well, you mentioned that it's important for us to kind of be united,
Yes.
be knit, especially as a community, to kind of sharpen each other and to not be crabs in a bucket almost. And in regards to how valuable tonight was, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being so valuable, took so much home, how valuable would you say tonight was?
Definitely a 10, definitely a 10. I think in terms of the networking, in terms of the collaborations, it's one of those things where I know that in 3 months' time, everyone will look back and be like, we were able to do business with each other, of this person or that person, because I met them at an event.
At an event. With
So
Cajovi.
with Cajovi. So yeah, super, super important, definitely a 10.
I love that. And a standout moment for us? What's something that stood out to you?
A stand-up moment for me, in all honesty, it sounds mad, but it's just the joy on everyone's faces. I remember a time maybe about, we're in 2020 now, so let's say about 3-4 years ago, where meetings like this weren't joyful experiences. We were talking about the hardships, we were talking about, you know, how a lot of people felt drained and wronged. So to be able to be in a room where everyone was just happy, and yes, this kick-started from a message that Cajovi received, which wasn't a nice message, but to be able to laugh about that and, you know, find solutions, that is the highlight for me. That's feeling,
gross.
if you could bottle that feeling, like, everyone would want to feel that.
But I've been Gift of Gabs, and you've been Mayowa Quadri. Didn't think I was remember that. And yeah, honestly, guys, respect the game.
So what's non-negotiable boundaries that you go for? So we're gonna start with Chims, because Chims told me she's got boundaries. So what's some non-negotiable boundaries that you have when dealing with talents? Anybody can just...
Don't message me after 5 p.m. That's fine.
It's a good one.
Like, I'll turn off my phone, I won't answer you.
I think it's urgent.
There's no such thing.
If a young manager came to you tomorrow, what would you warn them about first? What would the first piece of advice you give them?
Just make sure when you're getting into the business, you do your due diligence in understanding the scope of the business, whatever that is, whether it's talent, brand, whatever. Just make sure that you're getting into it, like you said, for the right reasons, and you are educated, informed, and knowledgeable in what you're doing, because I can easily tell the people that aren't and the ones that are, and those that I take seriously and those that I don't. So, yeah.
I think from my perspective, and it kind of ties into what you're saying about finding your why. I think not taking it personal, because a lot of the artists that I was meeting with, I had this one dude that no-showed 4 times in a row, and some of the ego and some of the attitude that you get back from some of these creatives, it's very, very easy, particularly if you're one of moral values, you've got high integrity, to take it personally. Like, I'm not like that, so why would you talk to me like that? Why do you think you can? And I found I had a much more success dealing with these people when I just didn't take it personally. That's your problem, your punctuality or your candor or your moral, that's completely, that's nothing to do with me. We can have the next meeting and just stay focused on the outcome more so than what's going on in the way there.
One thing I would say as well is, I've seen it more so on the sports side, like footballers. Understand what it means to actually be a manager, especially in football. I see a lot of agents that say they're managers and it's like, no, you're just here to do like a commercial deal. If you're managing someone, like that's a strategic role that encompasses so much more. It's not just about figures. And a lot of footballers that I see that either don't have the best off-field careers or viability, it's because agents are just taking money left, right, and centre. It's like I'm just making deals. Whereas the ones that actually have managers, they build personas, they build things, and it means that they're in a better position. So understand whether you want to be a manager or coordinator, but just understand that if you're going as someone's manager, there is more to it than just sort of like emails and stuff. Like it's actually like encompassing. You actually need to help this person go from A to B and understand the individual you're working with. I know managers that don't understand the people that they work with. Like, how is that a thing? How are you supposed to manage someone if you don't know them? So.
I think Respect the Game was a success. I think we've got some really good information out of a lot of different people. I think we also know what we can do to move forward, and even having the success of somebody from PR saying, you know what, I'm going to give you guys a bit more grace now that I understand more of your perspective. And that's the goal really, because how can we expect talent and creators to respect us if we don't respect us ourselves? Like, we don't respect each other, the ones that are doing all the work behind the scenes. I think this is fantastic. I cannot wait for part 2, part 3, part 10, internationally, another country, America, globally. I think it's gonna be fantastic. So yeah, success.
And I love that. You know, I love that you shared that, because I feel like even with the fact that we said we prayed, I was gonna ask as well that you feel like in the sense of like busy Martha, Mary, that you still managed to do your workload but still also draw from the night. And I feel like today, as much as there was stuff to execute, we did great behind the scenes. When we came here, it was a matter of we just kind of pulling things out, but still being able to actually draw from the table. So even as like, I don't know, like an aspiring talent myself, I feel like I drew so much. I know not to also annoy the brand managers, the reps, and people that are working behind the scenes, because it's so much bigger than us. Like, it's actually contracts, and people higher up have so much to deal with that we weren't aware of, or me personally.
Oh, absolutely. I think that for me, and I think I mentioned this previously as well, I'm a control freak. Being with Cajovi is also a control freak. We are all very like nitpickers. We're gonna look for the tiniest error, the tiniest thread of something going wrong. And I think that having 3 people just like us in this dynamic was probably the best combo ever, because there was no stone left unturned. Everything was thought about. Even when Cajovi mentioned it to me previously, I prayed about it then. She had prayed about it. She felt like this was something she was called to do. And the fact that she called me to do it, she called you to do it, and the team that we have today, from the camera people, from the people who showed up, people who didn't show up, they missed out on a God-blessed opportunity, but that is maybe just wasn't for them. And I feel like this has helped so many people. It's helped me, it's helped you. Even Cajovi now, she understands that the network she has has more reach than she even realizes, and everything from here is a stepping stone. And I think this was genuinely a God-led environment. I feel like everybody who works with Cajovi understands who Cajovi is, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I hope we can continue to spread this message. And
it's too far-fetched to say that we can maybe even do that gala mode next time. Maybe make it bigger.
Far-fetched?
No, honestly.
Is anything too big? Is anything too big for God?
And on that note, respect the game.
Respect the game with Cajovi. Thank